Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, I thank my colleague for that important question. In our generational budget, Canada's new government is making life more affordable for Canadians by making our financial system more competitive and innovative. Among other things, we are providing Canadians with more financial options by helping credit unions and smaller banks grow and compete, advancing open banking, which will make it easier for Canadians to find lower fee checking accounts, cheaper loans, and higher interest savings. On this side of the House, we're laser focused on making life more affordable for Canadians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gang, what's up? Aaron here, Canadian Looney. That little strange bird, the guy with little T-Rex arms and no neck in the barrow chest, that's our Secretary of Financial Institutions, Wayne Long. He's an MP from New Brunswick, and he's a strange bird. Never answers questions with a straight answer, and my goodness, he's so arrogant and pompous on the House of Commons floor. We're going to check him out here in a committee investigation. This is Transport. We'll have MPs Dan Albas and Philip Lawrence cutting him up, drilling questions that he's going to dodge the answers to. He's one of those. Let's take a look and a listen. This will be interesting. Wayne Long is, if nothing else, somewhat entertaining because he's such a goofball. Let's take a peek. What are we going to do about these cabinet ministers? Oh, goodness, we need an election. Let's take a peek.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
We'll begin our line of questioning today with Mr. Albas. Mr. Albas, the floor is yours. You have 6 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Secretary of State Long and your officials for your ongoing commitment to our great country. Secretary, do you prefer Secretary or Minister?
It's whatever you want. I get secretary, I get minister, and I get Wayne. So
okay,
whatever.
Secretary.
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you. You mentioned the information sharing agreement that would be authorized by Parliament. What happened to C-59?
Well, I think for us right now, it's important to look forward and to do what's necessary forward. I was sworn in as secretary on May 13th. I don't believe in looking backwards. I'm glad
that you don't believe in looking backwards, Secretary, but just getting to the point, C-59 would have authorized the same thing, and it was killed by the decision by this Prime Minister, Mark Carney, to go to a spring election. So I just want to make sure that everyone here knows that your government, said it had a fix and brought that towards the previous Parliament and instead allowed it to lapse. So I don't take any of the things you've said today in those information sharing agreements, as important as they are. But I just want you to bear some responsibility. I do know that you're new here. So, Secretary, moving to the next part here, when will T4As be, when will this new system be implemented? Do you have a date?
I was sworn in May of 2025, and we took immediate action. I recognized the driver's ink issue was a problem. I've heard from Canadians, I've heard from colleagues on both sides of the House. I guess what I would ask respectfully through you, Mr. Chair, is my hope is that we have put these measures into budget 2025. And my hope is that your party will actually support our budget, pass our budget, so we can move forward with these measures.
So I'm glad that you're hopeful. And I'm also hopeful for an answer. When will the measures that, when will there be actual changes at CRA that enforce the rules as they exist that they have not been enforcing?
I think the first step is to actually pass the budget so we can move these measures forward. I mean, if you want to pin me down to an actual date, I can't give you a date within like a month or two. I think the question
1 year,
back, I
2
think
years.
The question with respect back to you would be: is your party prepared to pass the budget with these measures? We are committing $77.6 million in this budget over 4 years, $19.2 million.
So 4 years is what you're saying?
Each year after to up enforcement and to make sure that that moratorium is lifted. So
I think you know clearly where my party is on it. And Mr. Chair, I'm going to take some of my time here. Secretary, I asked you a very simple question. If this budget was to pass tomorrow, which will probably not be with the support of the Conservative Party, but if it did, are we talking 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, or the 4 years you've been talking about? Can you not answer a simple question as to something that is directly under your responsibility?
the first step is to pass the budget. The next step is for us to take that and go through the process. I would say, soon after, if you want to pin me down to an actual month or a day, I'm not going to do that. But, first steps for us is to pass budget 2025. I'm hoping the members on your side will actually support the budget. There's a lot of great measures in that budget. It's a generational budget. We don't hear a lot positive from your side about that. Well, the first step, this measure is in budget 2025.
So the Maritime Trucking Association came here, and I asked them specifically if you had spoken to them about this. They had not. We've had every single trucking association, including the Canadian Trucking Alliance, which represents right across coast to coast to coast, and their number one ask was this. And so if you can't give us a date, sir, why would we want to support a budget if you can't even say with any sense within 4 years that you can get this done? So I think that it falls on you, sir, to be able to give us at least a date within the next 4 years. When will this collection happen? Tell to the Canadian Trucking Alliance and all the trucking firms that came in here when you are going to be doing your job.
We are committed to making this happen. Step one is to pass the budget, which clearly your party has a lot of hesitation to do, which is puzzling to me, but that's what we see in the other side. I think my record shows that, I have a business background before politics. I'm a man of action. I want results. I believe in accountability. I come from that environment, and we will endeavor to make this happen as soon as we can.
I'm really glad that someone knows how to sign the front end of a check and not just the back side. I think it's important in government to have all those perspectives in there. But I will say that if I were looking to hire a firm that can't tell me if they will take my money and not be able to give me a firm date as to when they will actually start working and getting those results, and you give them a 4-year window, I would say that was not someone I'd want to do business with. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albas.
Oh, yeah.
Next, we'll go to Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence, the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, and thank you, Minister, for being here. I want to actually carry on from where my bloc colleague left off in talking about some of the investigation work. Even though there have been new monies announced in the budget, there were actually monies announced in 2023 for a similar project. And on that, it was $23 million over 5 years, which equates to about $5 million per year. We received testimony earlier that there were 129 successful reclassifications. That cost $77,000 per reclassification. What would be the goal at the average cost of a reclassification from this additional monies being announced?
I would say this. I think that if you want to look at just even cost versus benefits, I mean, we are going to invest $77 million over 4 years, 19.2 years after. This will produce additional revenue of $160 million. I'm very, very
just
comfortable.
On that, Mr. Long, just on that, Minister. How much additional revenue have the 2 years that have gone by from the reclassification created?
Can you repeat that question, please?
So you've already been at this for 2 years. You spent $10 million over the last two fiscal years reclassifying drivers. You've got 129. How much money has been generated for the Treasury?
I would say that I'm very, very comfortable with what the CRA is doing. I'm very, very comfortable with the compliance actions they're taking. I realize that, and I don't want to be rude, but I did ask a specific question, and you've made projections, so you must know what you've done so far. How much? Just a number. I think that the fact that we're making this measure and we're taking this investment of $77 million over 4 years to ramp up compliance, to catch bad actors, we are projecting $160 million.
So how much of the last 2 years have you generated from the reclassification efforts where you spent $10 million?
I think that what we're doing will work. I think that we will level the playing field. I think that once and for all, we're going to actually...
Mr. Minister, how many reclassifications will you accomplish over the next 5 years? It's all good to hear about money being spent, but if it's accomplishing nothing, it's of no value.
I would reject the premise of that. I think that the fact that you would say it's accomplishing nothing, I think that the actions we're taking in Budget 2025 are huge. I think they're
how many reclassifications will the $77 million account? How many?
I think that what we're doing shows that we will produce more revenue than the expense.
Mr. Long, what's the difference between an independent contractor and an employee?
The fact that we're going to actually
Mr. Long, what's the difference between an employee and a
Mr. Speaker, just very quickly, and it's not to disturb at all the questions, but I think we're at a point now where the interpreters are going to have a hard time here.
Yeah,
so
my
I wonder if
apologies.
we could ask question, answer question,
Be nice if we got an answer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lawrence, add 15 seconds on just so that you can ensure that you get responses, but I'd like to ask all members to ensure that we're giving a chance to respond just for the benefit and health of our interpreters. Thank you.
So, Minister Long, to you again. What's the difference between an independent contractor and an employee?
What's the difference between an independent contractor and an employee?
Yep.
Okay, I was a small business guy. We used both. I would pay employees. They would deduct.
How is a truck driver supposed to know whether he's an independent contractor or an employee if the Secretary of State for CRA doesn't know what it is?
Can you repeat that question?
What is the difference between an independent contractor and an employee?
Okay, an employee is paid through your payroll. Okay, there's deductions taken.
Yes.
You have.
But how are you supposed to? There's a class.
An independent contractor is an independent contractor. He's an independent business person. He can be incorporated. He takes his own deductions. He pays his own salary. The issue's been that T4As haven't been issued. Is that what you mean? What the difference? Like,
I'm asking you. So some of these folks are bad actors, but some of them just don't know whether they are an independent contractor and an employee. So what are the distinguishing points between an independent contractor and an employee?
Well, once we solve the T4A issue that Stephen Harper put in 2011, independent contractors will get issued a T4A.
But they have
and the Harper government put a moratorium in 2011 to lift penalties.
How much time do you have left? Okay. I'll take the last 25 seconds, Minister, if you're...
The issue between an employee and an independent contractor couldn't be more different.
So I'll just end here. Thank you, Minister. It is clear that the Minister does not know the difference between an independent contractor and an employee, and yet he's going to be fining business people who in some cases are just innocently attempting to run their business to decide whether they are. If the guy who's in charge of the entire department doesn't know, what chance does a truck driver have?
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, yeah. We'll wrap it up right there, gang. Aaron here, Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe, get notified. Come and join us for one of our live shows. We've got a great chat room, a fun community. Come and verify that chat room for yourself. We do an interesting show with we do an interesting pre-show there. We lead into the question period right on time with all the other things that have happened in the House of Commons, in the committee meetings, in the scrums. It's always interesting. Come and join us. That's it. Thank you for watching this video. Aaron, Canadian Looney. Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics. Get your Canadian federal politics right here. Thanks for watching, gang. Smash the like, hit subscribe. Come and join us for one of the live shows. We'll catch you in one of the next videos. Thanks for watching this one.